Hey y'all, it's CasNCourt TV. Courts in session. Who wants the first lesson? It's your girl, Miss Public Info, coming to you. Finally have my volume going and everything is fine. First of all, thank y'all so much for joining. Come on in, come on in. I'll get started and then some people will funnel in. Listen, I was going to do a episode on Brian Burger. This is the update from about the guy that did the Idaho college murders, but instead I have to do something else. I'm going to have to do that episode tomorrow because we have some late breaking news. So, late breaking news is that there is a fresh new civil lawsuit against P. Diddy, but this time it is a lawsuit against Diddy and his son Justin. So, let's talk about this lawsuit. Now, before I get into the lawsuit the lawsuit is being filed by none other than Tony Buzbee. So some of you are probably going to take this suit with a grain of salt, and that is up to you. I'm just here to give you sort of the legal anatomy of it and to tell you maybe what's next, how it's going to go, what's going to happen, whatever, just the details and all of that. The other part of it is that this is the second Combs son lawsuit. The first one, of course, happened with Christian, was filed some time back. The young lady who was a staffer on the family yacht trip said that he did some funny business with her and tried to coerce or force her into a sexual act. So she filed for damages. So now this is Justin's first civil suit, and here we go. So back in 2017, there was a woman who met Justin. She met him on Snapchat. She says that, they gained a rapport and, started speaking through Snapchat, I guess, messaging. I'm not so familiar with Snapchat, but, I'm a millennial, like a geriatric millennial. So I guess that's the reason why I don't know much about Snapchat. But anyway, I digress. So they exchange messages through Snapchat and they agree to meet. He agrees to fly her out to LA, which he does do. She gets here. I say here because I'm in LA. So she gets here to LA. She goes to his Beverly Hills home. And when she gets to the door, she realizes that he has no plans for them. So I guess she was thinking they would, spend the day together, like go out, maybe meet people or whatnot. During the time they were getting to know one another, apparently Justin made it clear that he would, sort of help her bolster her career in entertainment by way of his father, no other than Sean Diddy Combs. So he utilized, allegedly, and according to this lawsuit, which was sourced by the Mirror US, by the way, her understanding was that Justin was going to help her with her career, her entertainment career, and that his father, Sean Diddy Combs, was going to be assisting with that. So as soon as she got there, she was, sort of plied with drugs. The lawsuit said that she was sort of offered a variety of poppers, pills, and marijuana that was laced with something. Then the lawsuit never says what it's laced with. And we're not mentioning her name for anonymity purposes. She is an alleged sexual crime victim, so we want to respect privacy, but her name is in the lawsuit. So just want to make that clear. She's not going as a Jane Doe or anything like that. So after consuming the drugs, apparently, 3 men show up at the house and they are all donning these masquerade masks. Now, I want to stick a pin there because if we remember of any of the conversation that has happened over time about some of Diddy's parties and some of his infamous white parties and just some of his parties in general, that people have talked about the fact that there have been people there who wear these masquerade masks, if you will, that, there are people there with that. Now, I've never attended a Diddy party. I'm not cool enough for that. So I have no idea, but I know that I've read and I have seen some videos online on YouTube where people say that, supposedly people have been there, say that there are people there wearing some sort of, costuming masks, that this is part of it. So I thought that was interesting that in this particular civil suit, that is what the woman is claiming. So she goes on. She says that she once she is consumed the drugs, that the men show up in the masquerade mask, and I'm looking at my notes, by the way, that they show up in the masquerade mask, and that Justin begins to refer to one of the men as Pops. Okay, so that she says that she claims that she recognized the Pops man as Diddy through his mannerisms. Now, I'm gonna call foul on this one just a little bit, just because I she's probably been around Diddy 0 times prior to this day, allegedly this day. And I've been around him 0 times as well. And I could not tell you what the man's mannerisms were. I really could not. Like I could not. There's no way for me to tell you the mannerisms of Diddy or Jay-Z or even Beyonce or anybody else. But perhaps if she's a super fan, she has studied the mannerisms of someone on television or through music videos or something like that. Maybe that's what she's referring to, like his mannerisms through what she's seen in the public forum, like, you know, music videos or on television during his interviews or something like that. Maybe that's what she's referring to, because other than that, it sounds a little weird, because I'm like, well, you've never been around him, so how do you know what his mannerisms are? So I just wanted to mention that sounded a little weird to me. But now that I'm talking it out, I guess she means when she's seen him out, you know, out in the press and walking around, that she's noticed these particular mannerisms, and she saw these mannerisms when she was at the home and saw this man that Justin is referring to as Pops. So she says that she was told, now it doesn't say who she was told by, but that she was told, in quote, "You better let this happen or else." That's what she was told. And that she was allegedly, they allegedly then took turns, you know, having their way with her. The assaults ensued, and that she would describe what followed as a brutal RAPE, a brutal gang RAPE. So again, this is kind of like, you know, I am not in any way, shape, or form being dismissive of this lawsuit, because this lawsuit is a very serious claim. I think this lawsuit is very strategically timed. I think this is a Tony Buzbee special, meaning not the contents of it is a Tony Buzbee special, but I think that it is a Tony Buzbee special in terms of the timing of it. Combs is actually in the closing arguments of his criminal case. Obviously, his attorneys did not return comment to the media source, and obviously they did not respond, have not yet responded to the answered the lawsuit. In the past, they've said that, you know, these claims are unequivocally false, sort of thing. I expect for them to say more of the same. Justin's attorneys have not replied either, nor has Justin. They didn't reply for comment. No one on his behalf replied for comment. But, you know, Combs's attorneys are a little busy. Obviously, his civil attorneys are probably different than his criminal attorneys. I would more than guess that. But regardless, they're all a little busy. But this makes for probably, I don't know, I think this is lawsuit. This is like 101 Dalmatian lawsuit right here. I mean, I don't know. Like, this is, he has hundreds of lawsuits. But as for the Combs kids, this is the second lawsuit for the Combs kids, the Combs boys, plural. So as I mentioned earlier, Christian has a sexual lawsuit against him, stemming from the family yacht trip where the staffer accused him of an assault. And then now Justin with this young lady, the Snapchat young lady. So first for Justin, Justin and Christian are now 1-1. This is just very ill timed. This doesn't look good. I think it's really Hopefully the jury is doing what they need to do in the criminal trial, which is not pay attention to any media, because certainly this is in the press right now and people are talking about it. And this is definitely an influential piece of lawsuit that's out there. Tony Buzbee is doing what Tony Buzbee does best. And listen, if this is a legit lawsuit and this young lady really, was a victim of this, then this should be brought to the forefront. I will say this though, with the government forfeiture, if he is convicted, as I stated in the last live, if Mr. Combs is convicted at trial, the government forfeiture of his assets are not going to leave very much. And whatever is left over, meaning his, his property, his licensing, all of that. And that also includes, I'm told, it also includes anything that might be under names of family members as well, because it's all attached under his companies. So just because it's under a name of a family member doesn't mean it's not up for grabs. It's up for grabs because it's under the name of his company. So anything that the government does not end up does not end up in government forfeiture, I should say, does not end up in government forfeiture, will any of those assets that are left over will be used obviously to clear up these civil suits. And he has hundreds of them, and it's a shame that the kids, meaning, Justin and Christian, and right now Justin, are fighting these allegations. It's too bad that this is part of their life. And I'm hoping that this is where it ends for them, that they don't pick up any, criminal charges or anything like that, because it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all, and I know that Justin's mother is very protective of him, Lisa Hilton. I would expect for her to make some sort of comment very soon about, this lawsuit and, fight for her son, because that's what she does, and that's her right as a mom. But I would also say that, Justin is a grown man. He's a grown man, even though in, 2017 is almost 10 years ago, just shy of 2 years being 10 years ago. He is now, and a 30-something-year-old man, and he's going to have to handle his business as such. And so, I would expect more of these lawsuits to come into play, whether they're, real or not, just because, this is kind of like the high time. Also, what I wanted to say in the other episode, and this is a better time to say it, is that I would expect a lot of these claims to take place, more of these claims to take place now, if Diddy, Sean Combs, is convicted, because someone who is as notable as he is, if he can go to prison for these acts, we already have Fat Joe, who is fighting a civil suit with, one of his terror squad folks. But if someone like Sean Combs can go to prison for something, like this, you're going to find a lot more people in industry. And I'm not just talking hip hop and rap, because it's happening in other parts of the industry as well. Obviously, we know about the Harvey Weinstein of it all and some other people, but I would expect for more people to come out, because more people are becoming more brave. They're not sitting back and allowing people to, just do whatever they want in hopes of a career, or in hopes of, staying loyal to someone that can do something for them. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot more of these kinds of cases are going to be coming out soon. You're going to start hearing a lot about them. Obviously, on CasNCourt TV, we'll be covering them. And again, I mean, what happens after an alleged, situation like this? This is exactly what I was telling you guys about as it relates to the Shannon Sharp case, and as it relates to the Tyler Perry case, where, you may not hear about it again. They may settle quietly. Anytime someone settles, it's an NDA, and then it just goes away and you don't hear about it anymore. Some of these cases that have come out or these suits that have come out against Combs may have already settled. That's why you haven't been hearing about them. So they may have done so quietly so he can concentrate on the trial. And you know, with this one coming through, this one could be a situation where it also gets, you know, mediated privately, and you just won't hear about it again. But it was filed today, strategically timed, a Tony Buzbee special. So we had to talk about it. All right, guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for joining me. You were adjourned, and I'll catch you tomorrow on CasNCourt TV. Thanks so much. Stay out of trouble, and we'll see you later.